block on either side of the street.
Wow.
It was amazing, I mean, their doors were all open, so you could drive along, and you could get a kind of idea of how many people are in each bar.
Yeah.
5 or 6.
30 seconds, yes.
Okay.
I think I've got it on record. It's got.
Yeah. Did you just press record?
I just press record and play at the
okay.
same time.
You just need to press record.
Okay.
But you're good. 15 seconds.
Okay.
10 seconds. Have a good show, guys.
Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Drag Show. I'm Stu Smith. This is Phatima, our guest for tonight. Welcome and thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
We're honored. What a beautiful makeup job.
Well, thank you. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Okay. When did you start that?
I started probably about 20 years ago doing makeup, and started first doing it in the ducal court system and doing drag and stuff like that. It was more self-taught, and then I met a person named Michelangelo, who was my drag father and taught me a lot about how to do makeup, how to make more dramatic effects, and how to create with makeup, how to take an idea and actually follow through with it and make it more. He did a lot of airbrush makeup without an airbrush machine.
Wow.
So yeah, he was a big influence on my makeup style and technique and stuff like that, and I learned a lot. And then just doing drag, and then started working in different clubs like Club Uranus and Decadence and all these early clubs here in San Francisco in the 90s. I learned a lot and got to do a lot more really fun things and just be kind of a creative entity, just do whatever you wanted to do and have fun with it, and people were into it, and you could be, there was a freedom about it, that you could kind of create an entity and create an image.
It was exciting because it was an open time. It kind of 20th century version of the Wild Wild West, I guess.
Yeah.
So I love the way you do it. It's like you take your face as a palette and you start playing with it. Trying. I don't know. Is there a purpose in? Is there something you have in mind when you start doing it?
Sometimes, but usually I just kind of go. I start with a very simple idea, or I just kind of take. Just kind of. For a long time, I never did the same makeup twice, so I would just kind of start out with a line or an idea, and then just kind of how it developed would go with it and see how things worked. It's kind of a narcissistic thing, just to kind of like sit there and sit in front of a mirror and experiment and try things out and see how it works and how you can change your face and rearrange it and contour it and light it, and that's my favorite. One of my favorite things is to be able to completely rearrange a face by just light and shadow.
It's amazing. I mean, I love looking at the different things that any particular artist can come up with, and they I guess some try and have a kind of a static look, and to me, the more exciting performers are presenting different illusions, different faces, different personalities, and I love that because it's kind of wild.
Yeah, it makes it more interesting. There is a kind of, I do have like a standard sort of look at times when I'm not feeling particularly, or if I have to do a really fast, because sometimes you don't have that chance to do it for a long period of time, have like an hour or a half hour, I have to do a face in 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and it's like, paint by numbers sort of thing, and you can, get ready, go out the door.
But you're used to that,
yeah.
So you probably have a variety of basic.
Yeah, there's real simple basic things that can be done that, you can take a day wear look, or a look that can be done for going out in a going out to a club, going out, and it can be done, like 5-10 minutes, and it works fine. The more elaborate stuff takes a little bit of time, but you can, as long as you get the basics,
Have you done? You did Tranny Shack at one point.
Yeah, I did. I started doing early in the time. I actually went to the first Tranny Shack.
Wow.
But I didn't perform there, and I hadn't really performed that much up to that point. And then when I did do my first performance there, was actually a striptease.
Oh, wow.
And I found this niche that it was much more of what I wanted to do, the more kind of avant-garde sort of performances that I wanted to do, because I didn't have that outlet. I mean, I did go-go dancing and stuff like that, which you could do a little bit, but that was not as focused and planned out as performing, doing drag shows or performing at Tranny Shack, where you could actually come up with a full concept. And granted, some of my concepts were very, a dear friend of mine called it freak-tard.
I've heard that word only through you, and I love that word,
Yeah, it was kind of freak and a little bit on the retarded side, just kind of odd, not quite. Some of my favorite things to do are some, kind of something that makes people uncomfortable. Edgy, they feel uncomfortable, they can't, it's either slow or quiet, which are things that make people really, especially in a drag show, very uncomfortable, because they have to be quiet, and they can't, they don't know if it's supposed to be that way, or if something happened, or if you're just staring at them. It makes people very uncomfortable, which is amazing to have that kind of and also breaking that fourth wall sort of experience of not having, there's forced audience participation, whether they want it or not.
Yeah, I love it. So the first Tranny Shack, was that your first kind of performance art piece?
Yeah.
Okay. And did you go on with them for a while?
Yeah, I did for quite a while. I guess probably for Tranny Shack went on for 13 years.
Something like that, yeah.
So I did up until the last few years on a regular basis.
Do you think that was kind of a pioneering thing?
There was quite a pioneering, and a lot of people got their start there, and kind of were able to unleash their natural performer, and kind of be able to expand upon ideas and take a concept that may have been just in the back of their head, and they have no way of where else can they do this, and so they could do whatever they wanted and get away with it. So
it's interesting to me, though. I mean, you have a fluid or adaptable image, which I imagine goes along with what you're envisioning as the piece. Whereas other stars like say Heklina or Peaches or even Putineska have a kind of a standard look, and then a lot of the embellishment or change is done with costuming or gowns.
Yeah.
And with you, it feels like that stuff is secondary, because it's really what you're creating, the image that you're creating with your face.
Yeah,
that's the art.
Yeah, because I'm less, I went through a phase or a period where I did a lot of body image, because that's been being a larger person, doing kind of using body image as a something that could be manipulated. I used to use corsets, and I could get down to a 28-inch waist.
Wow.
And I'd also cut the heels off of my boots off of a pair of shoes, so I was on point, so that it kind of created a very anti-gravity, kind of creating the just kind of breaking the illusion, so that you're not so serious about it is the other thing. It's like it's a drag show.
Yeah.
It's not you're not going to warp this into being something really important, and it's like it may be important and it's important to the person, but it's not going to cure something or it's not going to be this it could cure depression.
Well, yeah, and it could cure lots of different things, but the important thing is that it's that ability to express without the thumbs of the establishment in any way. And of course certain things progress to a point where they become establishment.
Yeah.
And thank God some of them kind of dissolve away. But I think about the things that continue. I love Thrill Peddlers. I think that they do some really unknown productions, and they do them because they find artistic challenge in them. Then they finally find a commercial piece like Pearls Over Shanghai, which they've done incredibly well, in my opinion. Have you seen that?
No, I actually haven't seen that yet.
You've got to.
Yeah, I really want to see that.
I mean, the makeup, the costuming, and of course the Cockettes in those days, in the 70s. Well, it was 1970, I think, when they either broke up or left for New York. But that was written by several of them back then. And it's been rewritten and redone better than it was then, much better. I mean, I'm just amazed. I've probably been to see it 6 times.
Oh, wow.
And the primary reason I go, believe it or not, that the story's irrelevant to me. The costuming and the makeup, it's a visual, fantastic night.
Yeah.
I never get tired of examining the people and the role and the way they position and express, and it's never the same.
Oh, yeah.
The script is kind of the same, but I mean, sometimes they'll be nude, sometimes they'll be twiddling their titties around, with tassels on the nipples. I mean, it's fascinating, and it's brought out a lot of people. There's a gal named Kate Cagle Richards. And I'm impressed with her. I mean, she's exciting, and Nancy French, and then we all know a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful for that, because it's not a static community. You've watched the Imperial Court, the Ducal Court, and then you have the real emerging art. But it's all kind of held together by history.
Yeah. We all come from somebody.
Yeah. I'd love to get Jose Sarria on before he takes his leave of absence.
Yeah.
But the stories about his courage, running for elective office, the first out gay human being to do that in the United States, to create the Widow Norton concept as a protest to police harassment for being gay, and police taking bribes to let them drink in public. And that was that's only 48 years ago. And I remember the raids. I mean, I was drinking in those days in North Beach and the Black Cat and all that. At any rate, this isn't about me, but it is the legacy. And that's why I'm so grateful you're here, because I'm trying to capture archival experience, and to find out why we do some of the great things we do, and how attractive it is to be able to come out and express oneself without a lot of impediment from any exterior force.
Yeah.
And that's what we fought for, was freedom.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, a lot of the influences or people or ideas that influenced me were, like I said, Michelangelo, were like, I got a lot of influence from Kabuki and Butoh. That's kind of where I took a lot of the performance art stuff from, and realizing that everything comes from a plate, from, there's something there's a tradition behind it. There's a lineage to it, and incorporating that in your own being.
Your interpretation?
Yeah, your interpretation of what you see in the outside world, and you take that in and retranslate it into something different.
That's what I find so exciting, and I think that's what attracts the audience, the followers for the club scene that is based in that community, which is bigger now than it's ever been.
Yeah,
and it's really getting global.
Yeah, and it's amazing to see it now. I mean, there was a period where everything, a lot of people, died, they moved away, and so now there's a lot of newer kids, or these kids that are coming up that are using, whether they realize it or not, they come from these people that started it out earlier.
Exactly.
And they're translating these things and coming up with it and using that as their new, they're retranslating stuff that's been done, or variations on it that was done before, and embracing it and running with it and making it, they're taking and making it their own, and creating an art space to be able to do stuff.
Yeah, a new interpretation, but a new meaningful beginning in a sense. I've got some photographs that I'd love you to identify.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They're almost all of you, but I think there's one that's primarily makeup work you've done on someone else. So that, I believe, is of course you.
Yeah, that's me, from a friend of mine, John Guglielmelli, took it just recently.
That's a great picture.
Yeah, it was fun. We were out in the Tenderloin and just doing photos during the day.
I love the Tenderloin.
That one's a photographer named Arturo. We went to a guy named Billy Cliff's house, and we did an all-day shoot there. And Arturo Guevara is an amazing photographer, and we had so much fun, and I'm very excited with that one.
Yeah, I love that one.
And that's more of that was kind of a death version. It was for a benefit at for Anaconda, and and that's Joey Ray Cohen, a photographer here, another local photographer, and I had an idea for pardon me, for covering my head in Band-Aids.
I loved that. I was shocked. I didn't recognize it as Band-Aids at first, but boy, I loved it when I found that out.
Yeah, it's a kind of a I was wanting to do kind of prom gone wrong.
It's great. I love it.
And that's actually a image I did a night in Phoenix, and the original image was kind of a divine makeup, and I reversed it, and it turned out to be quite an interesting image.
It's
so I thought,
great. I love it. Yeah.
So I was very excited with that one. I've been doing photography more recently, so it's exciting to be able to take an image and
watch out, world. The team is unleashed with her camera now.
And that's kind of, I call that troll. I've been very into doing kind of this, taking the troll and embracing it, and empowering the troll within all of us.
But I mean, there was a very sweet innocence to that troll, in my opinion.
And that's from Folsom Street Fair. That was Ms. Skid Row adjacent, 1966. And that's kind of a went out to the Death Guild one night, and I just decided to paint things kind of off.
I just love the second pair of lips. I assume that's what they are.
Yeah, and that's a friend of mine. I did his makeup for him doing a performance, and his name is Blossom. And it just, Jonathan Solo took the image, and I was just it worked out really amazing. I love doing makeup where you can make somebody look soft and take a boy and make them into a pretty girl. and still, they still have they're still the person that they are.
That's what's so attractive to me about the whole concept of drag.
Yeah, and that's more of the body image sort of idea of I have a hump that I made, and just kind of rearranging your body shape so that it's something that's
Is that the lips moved over
the
too?
lips are moved over, so it's kind of everything is kind of slightly off.
Yeah, I like that. The hair, the whole thing, the posture. That's great.
And that's from I was doing kind of a teabagger drag for that, it was actually a 420 night, and
You look like a society matron of the Republican persuasion.
yes, we're trying for that kind of thing. And let's see, that image, I can't really tell what's going on.
It looks like you're looking in the mirror in fear or totally startled. Fatima just put her glasses on.
I put my glasses
I
on.
love those glasses. I like the
thank you.
frames.
Yeah, that was actually at a club called Something, and at the Stud on Friday nights that I've been performing at, and Bears Above took the image. It was one of those fun nights.
I like that though.
And that was actually from Burning Man.
Oh wow!
That's at Burning Man from probably 96, and I had a great time there. We originally had planned on doing quite elaborate sort of, having 3 or 4 costumes a day, but it turns out that it's just too hot to do
That's
that.
what I've heard.
So
Yeah.
you can only do that.
Well, we're actually running out of time, I think. So,
Oh wow. Okay.
thank you. What have you got coming up?
I have on the 30th an event at Station 40, which is at 3030B 16th Street. It's I call it the Unclear Cabaret, and we're having a local artist, Vin Santos, is performing. A woman from Phoenix named Michelle
Look for
Blades.
Fatima. I don't know where, but look for you. I love you. Thank you for coming here and
Thank you
visiting
so
with
much.
us tonight.
Thank you so much.
It was great. You're amazing.
Thank you. Very
Thank you.
much. Lovely time.
Okay.
That's it.
Wow.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Wow. That was
I
amazing.
I was too interested, so I wasn't taking care of the time.
You were fabulous. You did a great job.
Thank you
that's
so
exciting.
much.
Pull down that main.
Yeah.
It's amazing how fast